we really about to be subject to 2 more years of Gareth Southgate as England manager? Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, we may be a few hours away from another exciting and intriguing week of Premier League football about to begin, but there's some big international football news that needs to be taken care of first. And it comes from the English Football Association, who are reportedly wanting to keep Gareth Southgate on as England manager beyond the current year and across the next couple of years. Southgate's contract was meant to end at the end of the year, but it was largely expected that he would actually step down as England manager after the European Championships that are coming up in the summer of this year. But it seems that after yesterday's comments in regards from Gareth Southgate, in which he was open to staying on as England manager beyond his contract expiring at the end of the year, the Football Association seemed to want to make his wish come true and keep him on for the next couple of years. We're going to be talking about the potential of Southgate staying on for another couple of years, what that means for England, what that means for the England side, the England national team, and why the FA would want to do this, and everything else in between. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. And of course, I encourage you all to get involved in the comment section down below. I'm sure you have a lot of interesting thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. That make for great interesting reading down below. So do get involved down there. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's talk this whole international football news in regards to the English Football Association wanting to keep Gareth Southgate on for another couple of years. Look, I am, for those who are new to the channel, hi, welcome, hit the subscribe button. But for those who are new and don't know me, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of international football. International football has, for a large part of the past many years now, I've alienated myself from that. I am sick and tired whenever there's an international break coming up. I would much rather choose club football over international football. And a large part of that is because of the way that the England football team has been run down the years. And the way that obviously the England national team, the manager's been wrong, they've picked the wrong players, they've done this, they've done that, it's all weird and crazy, and I've just never been completely associated with it. When it comes to major tournaments, I like the togetherness that it can sometimes bring. Under Southgate's management, of course, England have actually got far in tournaments, further in my lifetime than what A, I expected, and B, I have ever seen before under previous managers. Talking about your Sven-Göran Erikssons, your Fabio Capellos, Roy Hodgson's, at least said about him the better, and so on and so forth. So I do like the togetherness and the united kind of front we all put on in these international tournaments, and how good it feels and how great it feels for the country whenever we do go far in these competitions. But from a pure footballing perspective, Southgate is not the right guy, and I've been saying this for a number of years, and I've actually been saying it since the semi-final of 2018. Of course, we all remember the semi-final of 2018 in Russia for the World Cup. We all know that England started off well in that semi-final, but ultimately got knocked out in the end by Croatia. And I said at the time that while Southgate has come in and he's steadied the international England ship, he's not the right guy going forward. There were so many mistakes that he made during that period of time. Didn't like the way that he set up in terms of his footballing style. I know that obviously to each their own and all that, but it wasn't exactly a style that I found entertaining or exciting. And especially when you consider that we actually had a rather fortuitous run to that semi-final. The one moment that we actually came up against a side that was very difficult for us, we bottled it and we blew it. And that's a continuation of the Southgate story. The Southgate story has been, if it's favourable, we'll be fine. But the moment it comes up to being a little bit difficult for us, we will bottle it. Look at the European Championships in 2021. We were very good in beating teams that we should have beat. And then when it came down to one of the biggest teams, one of the favourite teams going into that tournament in Italy in the final, we blew it. And we blew it after bottling it from being a goal up to then doing nothing for the remainder of the game. We got an early goal, we sat back, we defended, we tried to grind out a 1-0 win. Not good enough for a team with this level of talent, this level of quality, and for the calibre that could be unleashed under a better manager. A year later, Qatar, 2022. Again, one of the favourites in that tournament were France. England met them in the quarterfinals. What happened again? We bottled it. Negative brand of football. Poor brand of football. Wrong choices in personnel. The same mistakes being made over and over and over again. And it happened in 2018. It happened in 2021. It's happened in 2022. And I can guarantee you it will probably happen again at the end of the year. In the summer of this year, in 2024, for the European Championships in Germany. Because this is the final stand now for Gareth Southgate. This is his final tournament. Or it should be his final tournament. People are expecting it to be his final tournament. This should be his final tournament. But if obviously reports are to be believed today, it's not going to be. They may actually keep him on for another couple of years. But this should be his final tournament. Because if he doesn't win this tournament, he can't take us any further. And actually, when you look at it, he's taken us somewhat backwards when you consider that we were in the semi-finals of the World Cup in 2018, the quarterfinals of the World Cup in 2022, the final 2021's European Championship that obviously got moved because of COVID, and now we're in a European Championship in the summer in which you probably would expect England to be one of the favourites in going into this competition. Going into this tournament, I would probably say that England are one of the favourites. I'd say France are probably stronger than us. I'd say we've got some difficult teams in there that could obviously come up. The likes of your Belgiums and your Spains are always going to be difficult no matter what. But I would say overall, England should be one of the favourites to win it. And if we don't, this guy would seriously have to go. And I've been calling for it for years, like I say. But there could be no comeback from this, surely. If he doesn't win it, when he's meant to be one of the favourites, and let's face it, we could get pretty far in the competition if, of course, we get a fortuitous run to the final. If obviously certain things go in our favour, such as maybe France slip up a little bit, maybe France get knocked out in an earlier round on penalties to a team, or something miraculous happens along those lines, we could actually be one of the tournament favourites, even with a negative brand of football, which a lot of people do not like and find very boring. But the fact of the matter is like, I don't necessarily see us doing it, because again, I see the same mistakes happening. I see his stubborn nature in terms of the teams that he chooses, the players he picks, not based on merit, but based on not based on current form, should I say, but based on form of how well he trusts them. The likes of Jordan Henderson, for example, still in that team despite not necessarily deserving it. The likes of Harry Maguire getting in there despite not playing regular football. Calvin Phillips sat on the Manchester City bench for a good 18 months now, but still manages to get into the England team when it matters. I could go on. I could go on with players that do not deserve to be in that team. Players that are in the first team that don't deserve it. Players that are in the squad in general that don't deserve it. This is what this manager does. But yet the FA are sat here today claiming that they want to keep him on for another couple of years. Why? You have got an England squad that is oozing with sheer talent and quality. An England side that under the right manager could be moulded into an explosive attacking outlet. Look at what you've got in key areas. The likes of your Bukayo Sakas, your Phil Fodens, your Jude Bellinghams, Harry Kane still banging in goals, whether it be for club or for country. You look at the defensive outlets. It's not as strong. Don't get me wrong, but it's still very, very good in an attacking sense. Your Trent Alexander-Arnold's, your Luke Shaw's to an extent. And even beyond that, you look at your under-21s that are coming up. You look at some of the younger players in that squad that are on the verge of breaking into the senior squad level. Your Harvey Elliott's, your Curtis Joneses. James Ward-Prowse is still there. Declan Rice as an absolute midfield general in the heart of that midfield. It is a squad that is, on paper, super strong, incredible, oozing with talent, and can be moulded in a way that can be extremely balanced between being explosive going forward and strong defensively. But yet you've got a manager here that is so adamant, so stubborn in his approach in terms of his defensive style of play and in terms of the way that he wants to shoehorn about 6 right backs into a starting 11. He plays a goalkeeper who is average. Do not like Jordan Pickford. Nothing to do with the fact that he's Everton, but just do not like him as a goalkeeper anyway. And yet he plays players based on him knowing them. He plays players based on how well they've done for him in the past, rather than pick players that are truly warranted of a place in the England team based on their current form. And yet the FA want to keep him on for another couple of years. It's a madness to me. I don't understand it. I understand in a way, in terms of the way he carries himself, the way that he talks, the way that he walks, everything about how he represents the English Football Association, how he is a representative of the England national team, and how he's just a representative of England as a whole is obviously very well done. And I have done nothing but praise Gareth Southgate for how he has carried himself, for how he steadied the ship at England as far as the national team and on a footballing level goes. And I have no doubt about the person that he is incredible and a very good representative of the English FA. 100% understand that, 100% respect that. And I understand how he carries himself. He's respectful, he's open, honest. And he's an incredible representative, like I say, of the English Football Association. I 110% understand and I get how he has represented himself on that level. But as a manager of England, if England and the FA are wanting to win a major tournament with the players that we've got right now in a... The term golden generation does get thrown around a lot, but this is a golden generation of talent that is just there. Raw talent that can be moulded into a national team that could go on and dominate international football for at least the next 2 or 3 international tournaments, whether it be continental or the world. You need to get a better manager. You need to get an upgraded manager. And I've been calling this out for years. We need to get a better manager than Gareth Southgate. I have no problem with how he carries himself. I've got no problem with the way that he represents the English football team, the English FA, and how of a great representative he is for that cause. But as a manager, his tactics are too negative. His approach is too stubborn. His man management is solid enough, but he relies on players that he's already brought into the squad rather than ones that are probably deserving of merit. Like I say, right now, I'm looking at the likes of Kobe Mainoo. I'm looking at Curtis Jones. I'm looking at even Joe Gomez, and I'm saying those players have probably done enough for me to get involved in the next England squad. But will they? I have my reservations based on how he has done business like this in the past. But we'll wait and see what happens. Like I say, everyone was expecting this to be his final tournament, but the English FA are today reportedly interested in re-signing Gareth Southgate to a new longer-term deal that will see him stay on maybe until the 2026 World Cup. And then from there, we shall see what happens with that. Of course, between now and then, of course, he could step down himself. There could be a lot of other things that could go on. England might not qualify for that tournament, in fact, in a couple of years' time. We'll obviously have to wait and see what happens from now until then. But I just wanted to throw my thoughts and my comments on that. So, of course, as always, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of the Gareth Southgate news that he may be staying on until 2026 if the English FA get their way and they are able to negotiate a new deal for the England manager. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it on this particular topic down below in the comment section, because I'm sure it'll make for interesting and great reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoy the video. Subscribe if you're new and want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see you and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Enjoy the football later on today, and I will see and speak to you all again very, very soon. Thanks for stopping by. Peace out.